out for a ride. Like any other trip, not a care in the world, except the breeze blowing in my face, my knees in the breeze, and the wind just blowing over my shoulders. So enjoying the scenery, the sunlight, just admiring nature until disaster strikes. And as I lay there, I think, what have I gotten myself into? What am I going to do now? So what's going on? So now what? After I gather myself, I decide I need to check the ATV and assess my situation. Say good news, so the axle isn't broken. The bad news is, starter's not working. Looks like I'm on foot. I just used a survival bracelet I made that had a whistle in the clasp. You do three sharp bursts to see if there's maybe anybody out here. I've got a radio with me that I haven't heard anybody on it. So let's see if maybe I can get somebody on a channel. And see if I can get somebody's attention. I offload my gear, check my hydration pack, sending out broadcasts on a two-way radio, so there's a great way to help if you're lost. Trying to pull start the ATV is a last-ditch effort. I quickly realize it's going nowhere. So, it's true, in Mother Nature, she'll let you know when she's in charge. And you come out, think you've got everything squared away. So, something's wrong. I'm not going to be able to get this thing started. I'm not going to be able to push it out of here. It's stuck. Well, it's 2:30, so I still get a little bit of daylight. So, I'm going to set up a direction of travel, so if anybody comes up the road behind me, then they'll know that I've headed off in the direction that I came. I'll pull out a map once I get a little bit closer, check my compass, check my map, and then I'll cut across country when I get closer to camp, try to knock out some of this time.
You should always have a compass, but the main thing is to keep your head, because blind panic is, you're going to be running in circles and nothing good comes of that.
Something I always keep with me, it's a survival card. You got different, short-term survival tips. Talks about being lost, and right there on the front it says only move when necessary, and stay put if you're injured. Getting up, I made a mental assessment. I'm not really hurt, little bruised, my ego. Second on line is building shelter. Build your shelter big enough for everybody in your party. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a series of sticks. So F for food and water. I have enough food for a couple of days, but you get somebody to bring me a ham sandwich, that'd be good. I'll put 2 L's, and the L's will let them know everything is clear. So I'm going to be moving out this way, so I'll be putting an arrow in this direction. If you're new to the field, even if you're an old head, I suggest you grab one of these cards. It's a quick tip. If like I said, if you get hurt, you're not in the right frame of mind, you've got a quick guide to get your mind off of what's going on and what needs to be done. So that's that mindset, survival, and survey your situation, your surrounding areas, and go from there. So head back in the direction I came. So after a while, I came across some coyote scat. A sure sign of life. They could also be a threat to my own. Fur balls. In their dung where they lick, and then gets to the system. I'm going in the same direction. You got the claws. You got the small pad coming back here. You have the dew claw dug in a little bit. That's a heavy dog. So, coyotes in this area, I'm going to end up having to get back to camp or set up a camp, find me a weapon, make a fire, do something, because at night, they own the night. After venturing a little further ahead, I spot an amazing discovery, taking me off trail a little ways. This pond is life. I can replenish myself and being able to acquire water, which I can later boil and eventually drink. Fill up my canteens and my water bottle and boil that. But that doesn't mean I won't filter it first. Luckily, I have an apparatus made just for this purpose. But if you don't, you can build a filter with a layer of grass, a layer of charcoal, and a layer of sand. This is a steri pen. It works off of UV. Kills bacteria with UV light. It runs 99.9%. What do we do? Bring it in. Yep, got the UV light on. Have my red. Stir it around till that UV light goes out. This will make the water safe to drink. Takes care of Guardia. Fill up my canteens and my water bottle so that way I can set everything back at camp or where I'm going to set up for the night. Upon rehydrating, I embark back on my journey. With my thirst now quenched, I venture into the woods and cut off time for my journey home. After tracking what seemed like miles, I came across the remnants of a past traveler. Onions are right here, bark for the tree for fire, stuff like that, and then people treat it like this. All this around. Thing about it is, they've done that. It's actually going to help me out. I decided to set up camp, and the first rule of a comfortable camp is shelter. When you're setting up, one of the things you want to look for in the trees, make sure there's not any fallen limbs, like that one's cracked. It's falling in over here. There's nothing in these trees. Those limbs that are falling out that have broken off and are hanging in the limb, those are called widowmakers. Wind picks up at night, and then you've got stuff falling down onto your camp and on your head that can kill you. So make sure that there's nothing hanging there that you can get hurt from. Hearing a dog bark in the distance motivates me to move with a purpose. A hammock, a tarp, they're both ideal for any situation. A lightweight, sturdy, and dry. The way the mosquito net, we're leaving it out, add weight to the bottom and hold this down. But I'm still going to take and put some more cordage around it. I'm going to be able to use this plastic to start a fire. I begin building my firewall to not only protect my fire but also reflect the heat back into my camp. That'll help keep my body temperature warm. So splitting logs will ensure they burn slower and longer. I just keep adding to the outside and I make a little dent in the center and it starts to look like a bird's nest. See if I can make this work. So using a round plastic bottle filled with water, I attempt to create fire, and with great success. There we go, we have fire. Told you it'd work. Plastic bottle and water. Fire. Putting the fire next to the heat reflector will block the wind and allow it to burn higher and brighter. Several different ways to start fire. Make sure you have more than one.
You keep your brains, you sit down, build you a shelter, build you a fire. The smoke's going to let the people find you. You're not going to be outrunning them. Just going in circles and circles.
Night has fallen, and luckily I have a fire to keep me warm and the smoke to keep the mosquitoes away. So food and warmth are crucial to your morale and thus for your self-esteem. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this can upside down, and I'm going to take and rub this can across that rock, and I'm going to open that can with a rock. So I've got water. This is that water from the lake. I take and set it in the fire. So you're looking at between 6 and 12 minutes. Way to think about it is by the time it starts to bubble, it's already reached the temperature that will kill off bacteria. Got my camp set up, got me a little fire, something to keep me warm for a little bit. And then I'm gonna eat. My water's boiled, I'm letting it cool off, and I'll be good to go. Get my belly full, go in here and crawl in the sack and call it a night. Creating these basic necessities can grant you a feeling of self-worth that's difficult to be taken away. So I leave the fire burning as a security measure against the territorial intruders who may get curious while I try to sleep. The sun is rising and I quickly realize I'm wasting time. Since I'm losing daylight, first things first, the show must go on. Oh, well, slept pretty good last night. Just getting up, it's roughly 7 o'clock. Everything came together, slept pretty good. It was a little chilly last night, but I got the poncho liner, my sleeping bag. You know, the poncho did everything else. Nothing called in or anything like that. So now I get up, I guess I get a fire started and start making my way to the truck. So I break down my camp before I travel forward. But I can't travel until I eat. Luckily, I always have an extra MRE, which is a meal ready to eat in my bag. So with a full stomach and everything squared away, I'm back on the Shoelace Express. All right, what I'm doing is I'm getting my bearings set. I'm going to be heading in a westerly north by northwest direction, which is a complete 180 of what I was running before. After making it out of the woods, I find a gravel road back to camp. And then at top of the horizon, I see a sight for sore eyes. It's my baby. So first thing first, hydration, especially after that pond water. Still no cell service.
Do it by myself.
Now that I'm back in my truck, I have to figure out where I wrecked, so it's back to the map. I feel a temporary sense of relief, so being back in my truck, until I realize that I still have to go back and load this thing up on my own. So I'm still wondering how I'm going to get it out of the ditch. After retrieving the ATV, I'm headed back home. Even if it was a bit primitive. Thankfully, I didn't panic and had the initiative to make it home. Which is why I ended up going to the woods anyway, to get to the primitive style.